Okay, here we go. My first walk in about 10 days now because of the inclement weather. It's Thursday, yes, a Thursday, July the 12th, and I'm having a walk today because it appears to be the driest day of the week, albeit that rain is due around about 5 o'clock. So once again, I'm in Essex and up against the clock versus the weather. I'm doing the latest walk in the book, which is Free Walk 158, Ingatestone to Battlesbridge, crossing some familiar terrain from the other Battlesbridge walk that also got rained off towards the end. So it's 16 miles today, approximately 15.6 I think officially, and as you can see there's some grey cloud up there already. Got half an hour delay this morning because something on the line, so it's coming up to 11 now. Should have been here at 10:15, so already behind schedule, so I need to get my skates on. Let's get cracking. 385 metres in and we're taking the footpath across the grassy meadow, and you can see today the problem I'm going to have to contend with clearly is water. It might not be raining now, but there's a lot of it lying around. Looks lovely at the minute, doesn't it? But as I say, I'm up against the clock. Yeah, you can also see the other issue I'm contending with today, as mentioned in the feedback section of this walk. Lots of overgrowth here, or lots of plants that have grown since the walk was written, so you can't make out the footpath signs very clearly, but there's the rusty barn mentioned in the text. The marker for this section is obvious, not overgrown. Typical Essex scene really. No pylons yet, but I understand the afternoon section is full of them. Wouldn't be in Essex otherwise, would we? Quick glimpse of Ingatestone Hall over there on the right, behind the wall. St Mary's Church, Battlesbridge in the distance there. That's what we're aiming for apparently. I've got wheat turning on my left and broad beans on my right. Clowns to the left, me jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Interesting how oaks seem to attract the lightning more than other trees I'm finding. Can't quite make that out, but I guess it's a yellowhammer. Hasn't got a yellowhammer's song, not the obvious one anyway. It's on a hawthorn bush, so I'm guessing. I'll have to check that out later when I got my glasses on. Usual problem. Crossing over the bridge on the Wid, which is in full flow, and not far from where that guy killed himself in Writtle 2 days back. Now that bird clearly is not a yellowhammer because it had a black and white head, so I was able to gauge that much, and the song is clearly different, so one for me to check out later. A closer view of St Mary's as we climb a bit, and a rather pleasant view back from near the church, which as I say is prominently situated for defence purposes, no doubt. Okay, Thomas, the author of this walk, is suggesting you take the field margin down here, which is not a right of way on the OS map, but I'm going to continue down on the road, which is reasonably busy but not too bad. the entrance to Riverside Farm and the bridge over the Wid. Walking alongside this section of the Wid for 700 metres, and I've just realised I forgot an important bit of kit today, and that's me mozzie cream. So potential for getting bitten again today. Now, is this plant here knotweed? Japanese knotweed. Something that I look for in problem properties. Need to research that. Still plenty of those damselflies about, as we saw down in what was it, the Ashurst walk the other week. And I hear David Attenborough on the radio this morning telling everyone to look out for butterflies, because they want to monitor how they're either dying off or increasing in number according to the species. I've certainly seen a fair few butterflies, but what they are, I don't know. So I could be looking at stuff that's increasing in number or decreasing. Must get that guidebook. Interestingly, these damselflies seem to love that plant that I think is a knotweed. So maybe it's not a knotweed. I always thought it was wild rhubarb. Okay, upon reaching the woods there's no marker sign visible, but I think the instructions are clear enough. You turn right here and then turn left and continue in the same direction. A sign becomes visible on your left a couple of metres in, so I'll take that one back, and you then end up walking on very boggy soil with a field of rape on your right. And the hum of a major road ahead of us somewhere. Okay, there's a footpath marker hidden in the hedge there, and a silo up ahead, and you can just see here on the right a footpath through the rape. So hopefully we'll better get through that. Should be doable with a bit of difficulty again. Views back from the other side of the rape field, which isn't too much of a problem, although a little bit muddy and wet where the furrows are. Lots of pipe work around here, reason being there's a reservoir on the right through the trees there. Just ahead of us, the busy railway that I came across, or came to Ingatestone on. I think we brush up right close to that in a minute. The Church of St Margaret of Antioch, with the busy railway just behind me, as you can hear. As you can see, this is Church Lane, which is literally 10 metres from the church entrance. That footpath left next to the railway line there, and continue along the earthen farm track. Ignore that branch left there and continue on right, straight ahead in the same direction. Crossing over the Wid yet again, which is becoming a bit wider at this point, and encountering my first animals of the day. Apart from the humans I passed at Stratford earlier. It's just starting to get a little bit hazy now, worryingly, because that means the weathermen are bang on in their forecast. As pointed out a few weeks, it's a bit quieter now in terms of bird song. as they all disappear to molt or do whatever it is they do, i.e. not sing for their territories. Very easy walk in this section. It's all on a very new clinker path. In fact, all this looks new. The barn, even the pond is a recent addition over there. Views back of Ingatestone and the Wid Valley, just outside the entrance to Fristlin Hall. Okay, we're just at the point here where you branch off the gravel lane. Not that way on the left, but over here on the right, through this very muddy section. And we're now following St Peter's Way, which is a new one on me, I think. Okay, there's been no diversion yet. I'm still following the original footpath. There's a number of animal graves there, I believe. As clearly shown on the gate, please use the kissing gate on the right, which tells me the application for the diversion was probably unsuccessful, which is good news. Can't confirm that, but that's what it looks like. Following the St Peter's Way and that butterfly symbol again, and a former residence through there, a Desres. Another week, another golf course. As you can hear there, the old chiff chaffs are still around, but looks like I'm going to be out of luck with the cuckoo this season, as by now they will have undertaken their journey back to Africa. What few of them arrived here, and I'm still waiting to see a bullfinch. Of course, is quite busy today, obviously with people like myself that have been waiting for the rain to leave off so they can get out for a game. As you can see from this footpath here, very muddy underfoot today, but can't complain, because as long as it's underfoot and not coming from up there, fingers crossed. Okay, as you can see, I've elected to take the direct route simply because, excuse that, simply because I'm concerned about the weather later on this afternoon. But as you can see, if you venture into the woods, which is the recommended route, looks very attractive. Rather overgrown field prior to Crondon's Lane. The view back across the field from Crondon Park Lane. Just reaching the village of Stock. The early lunchtime stop, the Baker's Arms. I'm not sure why it's considered early, because it's 1 o'clock. But then again, I didn't catch the early 9 o'clock train as recommended on a Saturday. Quite busy, as you can see. Stock Village Green, which is where I think I might have lunch, because I'm not due to pass a church in the next hour, and Hanningfield's a bit too far, seeing as I'm quite hungry at the minute, and also I need to get my skates on. So I think we'll have lunch here on this chair presented by Michael A. May. So 1:30, lunch has been had. I've done 5 miles according to my pedometer, which means I'm 1/3 of the way through the walk, with 4 hours remaining if I'm to get the 5:30 train and beat the rain. So, need to get my skates on. There's the cricket green, and where the road bends right, we take this kind of left down this tarmac lane. stock tower mill, which is open to the public, I believe. Private property, but there's an entrance 20 yards to my left. And in left off of Furze Lane, opposite the wooden construction Sunrise Cottage. Straight away we're into an orchard. More the traditional style of orchard than the commercial one we saw last week down in Kent. Walking through a very pleasant, if somewhat smelly, wood. Smells as though the cottage behind me are pouring their effluent into this woodland down there in that stream. One of the marker posts. It's extremely boggy and wet underfoot through this section, as you'd imagine, almost following the stream. A pleasant section of woodland walking it is, though. Way the sun's peering through those trees. Thank God it's still out. A lot of rhododendron in here though. So you come out on this lane where you do a right and rejoin another footpath 55 metres further on. Crossing another two-planked footbridge across a stream, which unusually at this time of the year has got water in it, reflecting the amount of rain we've had recently. What a contrast to my walk back in March, I think it was, when I was reporting that Essex was as dry as a tinderbox. Amazing. Lovely mixed woodland walking here as I'm stood on the second bridge after 90 metres per the text. Path blocked here by recent storm damage. Exiting the farmyard lane, and where it refers to the dog leg in the text just prior to this point, you do turn right, immediate right, as opposed to following the edge of the wood round, which is wrong. So take the immediate right. There's a bit of road walking there. Where the road swings left, we continue on straight ahead down this bridleway. Continuing on down the bridleway, very pleasant it is as well. It's like this new three-planked bridge, which is where we're crossing. It's been installed by, there you go, Parish Paths Partnership volunteers of Essex County Council. Excellent work. Okay, just past the recently thatched cottage mentioned in the text. Now following the grassy track towards Hanningfield Reservoir. Place I've filmed before, so I might bypass that today, not sure yet. Depends on these clouds and the time. And just as David Attenborough was talking about butterflies, there's an interesting one I don't recognise at all. Then again, why should I? Gone. So once again entering Crow's Heath Community Woodland, and obviously we walked through here but different parts of it in Free Walk 157 a few weeks ago. What did I say about pylons entering the scene? Not exactly pylons yet, but small sub-wires. Listen to that bird song. That one. Interesting. Don't recognise that. Some kind of warbler, I'd say. Now, whatever that bird is, that I just didn't recognise, there it is. Unfortunately the light is against me, I think. Got it on the wrong side, so I can't work out what it is. Lovely song. So we do a right here by this new footpath marker, which is taking us down here 160 degrees, as opposed to the one immediately before it on the right, which may mean that they've rerouted the footpath slightly. Got the pond here on the left, and there's the four-way footpath marker ahead there. Just over there is the way to Wickford and the alternative ending, which is where I came from on the Wickford to Battlesbridge walk, I believe. And the next bit of the journey is going to be familiar, I reckon, as it's repeating what we previously did in walk 157. Amazing actually how this grass has grown since I was here just a few weeks ago. You can clearly see the footpath and how people have trodden through, as opposed to the unkempt grass either side. And the footpath is also a lot wetter. Amazing. Fantastic shot. I think that's a red admiral. As opposed to a tortoise shell or a painted lady. Catching the rays. Just like a UV panel. Back out at Hanningfield Reservoir once again, and last time I was here it was about 97% full. I'd imagine now it's deemed to be full. It does hum a bit. The view on the other side is far superior, I feel. Got to make a decision in a second whether to go through the reservoir or to continue along the road. At this minute in time I'm inclined to continue along the road, because it's about 3:15. I need to get my skates on to tackle the tough field section, so I'm led to believe, in the last 4 paragraphs. Certainly is an oasis in Essex, this. Okay, so once again at Hanningfield Reservoir. I think because I've done this bit before in walk 157, and because I need to get my speed back up, it's 3 o'clock now, I'm going to do a bit of road walking. So here we are, back at the junction with Gifford's Lane, which I filmed in walk 157. So all I've done really is miss out the nature reserve bit and the lovely view from the cafe on the water. But if you're really interested in seeing that, look at walk 157. I'm stood right next to their A board here. Open 9 to 5, 7 days a week, no booking required. Okay, I'm at the lunch or late lunchtime pub stop, and there's the public footpath sign going into the car park. So here we are, the old windmill. As I say, it's about 3:15 now, so it would be better served as a early tea time stop. And as you can see, the clouds getting greyer, which is why I missed out the reservoir. Information board here about how things work at the windmill. Must be run by a military man. One of the many that's been recently laid off. If they're not doing security at the Olympic Park, they're running pubs by the looks of it. What a lovely tractor in the garden there. Pleasant enough garden. Oh, this is the scenery having come out of the car park. Chaffinch. Views from the 79-metre trig point, or very close to it. That's about 220 feet high here, which is quite high for Essex, I guess. And as you can see, I'm stood in the middle of a wheat field. Just stood by the reservoir with views across this pea field down to what I believe is our onward destination. Interesting scarecrow there. First time I've seen one like that. This takes the shape of a crow, as you can see. Oh dear. Further pleasant views. Good God, my phones keep going off, sorry about that. This time above the tops of a broad bean field. Approaching suburbia again now. And as you can see, it's getting a bit greyer, wind's picking up. Weathermen appear to be on track with their forecast at the moment. Turn left here with a row of trees on the right. Lovely oaks again. And broad beans to the left. Do like broad beans. Interesting walking here. Broad beans on my left, stinging nettles on my right. Both are 6'6" high. Turning left on the grassy path, and the wind is picking up, so the rain is coming. 3:45 now. This is referred to as kennel farm in the text, but clearly it's not that. It's called something else now, or always has been. But I'm at the footpath, the half hidden one on the right here, which is a gravel path. So I'm assuming this is the onward route. So just exiting into the field, and here it is, classic Essex scenery, pylons, and we follow these pretty much down to Runwell. Terrible smell here, next to these stables. Or entering the wooded section. Looks like some new fencing's being put up here to keep something out rather than in. So the walker is going to be even closer to this ditch, which is bone dry interestingly at the moment. Walking through the wooded section. Runwell Hospital, with the church in Rettendon Place up on the hill behind it. Shame about the pylons, but there you go. Rather overgrown green lane walking towards Runwell. Up between electric fences towards the left of the corrugated barn. Pleasant flower there. And as usual with purple or lilac, the old bees love it. Crossing the approach road here to the farm, still beneath pylons. Yeah, that section's particularly overgrown and uncared for. Clearly they don't want walkers passing by here. The white marked pole. This small grassy area that you cross after the busy A road is quite marshy, with no defined path on it. 4:30, rain still hasn't arrived. Let's see if I can get that 5:30 train. There's the gap in the hedge mentioned in the text. Again, no clearly marked route. Wood route is not through that metal gate over there, but over there through the clearly marked stile. Loads of butterflies in this field. Obviously not a well-trodden path though. Views back towards a church that I don't recall seeing earlier. Probably because I was in the woodland at the time, I'm not sure. This appears to be the obvious footpath referred to in the text, but the farmer's just left it as last year's wheat crop by the looks of it. No, it's oats actually. Okay, crossing the farm track, heading for that footpath marker over there, and heading onwards uphill. This path is obvious and a bit easier than the last one. Believe it or not, there's a plank bridge in here. Just make out the handrail there. Looks like someone's had a word with the farmer on this field, because he has been down here with a vehicle and made the path usable as we approach the busy A road over there. When you get across that field, the way is clearly marked. Not so easy to penetrate. Now next to the railway line that I hope to be on in about half an hour's time. Cross the railway line here, and there's a platform at Battlesbridge. God knows what's been along this last leg beside the railway line. Incredibly churned up by animals. Something else you have to be wary of on this last section is rabbit holes hidden in the undergrowth. Break your ankle on one of those. And there's the creatures responsible for messing up the footpath. Okay, it's bang on 5 o'clock, so I've got half an hour to wait for my train, but I won't be partaking of tea at the Hawk here because I've brought my own, so I'll have a flask up on the platform. And spot on, literally, it's just started to rain, just started spitting, so that was perfect timing. Weathermen were bang on with their weather forecast. So and the one I've used quite accurately so far is AccuWeather and the BBC South East one. I find those far more accurate. I know they're all using the same information they're meant to be, but I find that BBC South East one very good. So here we are, 5 o'clock back at Battlesbridge, or back at Battlesbridge, waiting for the 17:30, and it's just starting to rain, as I said a minute ago. That was a lovely walk, albeit I didn't do the reservoir edge bit of it. I make that by my pedometer between 0.2 miles, but I'm a little bit under with that, so 15.4 is probably about right. So that's free walk 158 completed, Ingatestone to Battlesbridge. Very nice it was as well, if somewhat overgrown in places. I think that was better than 157. Finished, done, another one completed. And done in around what have I done? Started about 10:45, so that's 6.25 hours.